Ladies and gentlemen, I think we'll go off. Oh, we recording? Okay, let's get started. Charlotte fans, I bring this to you with a heavy heart. I would love to rage, but my rage session is coming because it's very timed. Please keep in mind, because I'm finna go off. Charlotte fans, do you know that Gordon Hayward didn't score last game? The $120 million pension collector? Yeah, let's get on it. A wise man once told me, and shout out to Big J Let's Talk, you that wise man. I, and so is Deacon Mac because these grown men told me, the young man, what the reality of life really feels like, especially in the sports concept. And let me educate the folks and the people back home and the I am Groots of the world and all these guys what reality looks like for a sports world. So let me say this. That wise man told me, if you've always have what you've always had, if you've always done what you've always done, you always have what you always have. It's how it is in life as a as an organization. As an organization, I expect the team to make a change in strategy. You out here gonna do damage control because you realize that Book Night was now seen is now seen as a prima donna, and everybody's not like, oh, but what do you expect? Kid is from New York. Let me tell you one thing about New York kids or New York people that you don't like. Hence why you see Knicks fans always be so erratic. New York people, you don't fuck with them. You don't treat them like you treat Malik Monk. You don't do that. New York boys, you don't mess with them. All but before because here's the thing. Before I get to the main point of the topic, let's discuss the James Booknight situation last night. James Booknight wanted to give a Borrego a two-piece sandwich with extra dip. He was gonna give him that. But he wasn't going to give him that sandwich because the assistant coach, the henchman, Borrego's henchman, managed to control him. He was going to box the coach. It's been so long for this kid to have minutes. You know what drew me to many families? Potential. Something is regarded as a growth in progress. You see, potential. That's what drew me to them. I saw something in this team that made me just be like, man, I really like this team. And it all started with Miles Bridges. The moment I saw Miles Bridges in that dunk contest, I was like, man, Charlotte must have a team. They got to build around Bridges. They must have built around Bridges. Bridges must have been a superstar. Bridges must have been their guy. They must have supposed to let Miles Bridges cook. Charlotte, you didn't do that for me. And LaMelo came in and made me take attention away from Miles Bridges and put my attention on him and and Miles Bridges. See, let me tell Charlotte fans. James Booknight wanted to be Scottie Pippen to LaMelo's Michael Jordan. He wanted to be a Derek Fisher to LaMelo's Kobe Bryant. He wanted freaking uh Miles Bridges be Shaquille O'Neal, bullying people, while he be Derek Fisher, catch and shoot, play defense. That's all he wants to do. He said it. Me and LaMelo's box office. Majority of his answers. Me and LaMelo. He wanted to be LaMelo's Pippen and win Rookie of the Year. Charlotte, you stole that joy from him. That's all he wants to be. He don't want to be. He want to take Terry Rozier's spot and be LaMelo's Pippen. But how is he going to do that when he's not getting minutes, Charlotte? Because I'm finna gonna go off on the fan base. I'm just trying to build up the tension. How is he gonna do that, Charlotte? All Book Night wants to be is LaMelo's Pippen. Me and LaMelo be box office. Me and LaMelo this, me and LaMelo that. This was his draft night interview answers, by the way. But the one that caught my eye the most is me and LaMelo would be box office. Jordan, you want LaMelo to be a free agent magnet, but yet you don't treat him like an all-star. You don't let your team, you market the whole team as all-stars. It's okay to market your team. It's fine. This kid just wanted to be LaMelo's Pippin, and you can't let him have it. He wanted Miles Bridges to be Dennis Rodman, and he wants LaMelo to be Jordan while he be Pippin. That's all he wanted. That's all he wanted. He wanted to be LaMelo's Pippin. Hence why you see him standing up for LaMelo after the All-Star game that he got snubbed. He wanted to be LaMelo's Pippin. You couldn't even give him that. Y'all couldn't even promote Book Night on that Airbnb family list. You had a new dynamic trio, aka BBB. Ball, Book Night, Bridges. You could not promote that because, oh, it has affiliation to LeVar Ball and his brand. The NBA BBB, you had that. That's your calling card to your marketing. In a marketing sense, when you have a franchise talent, you promote that. Any agency that have a superstar, why do you think um thing LeBron is promoted by LeBron is the more outsought in Rich Paul's agency in Clutch Sports? Because LeBron is the main attraction. When you join Clutch Sports, you know you answer to LeBron. Lonzo joined Clutch Sports because his mentor LeBron is there. Miles Bridges joined Clutch Sports. I'm not sure Clutch. Yes, Miles Bridges joined Clutch Sports as well. LeBron, the LeBron effect. Who else? Zach LaVine, Clutch Sports, the LeBron effect. And I'm not a LeBron fan. I'm a Kobe fan, by the way. I'm not a LeBron fan. So keep that out of your head. Okay? I'm gonna say this to the Charlotte fans. All Book Night wanted to be is LaMelo's Pippin. And you stole that joy from him. And you think he's not gonna two-piece sandwich Borrego in two-piece in his eye? You think he's not gonna do that? You could have pulled a Malice in the Palace 2.0 just with the coach alone. It's okay he got restrained. He was gonna beat up this coach because imagine you get put in a situation on a team. You've been sitting on the bench for a long time. You believe you can make an impact. The team is losing. And then you stayed, and this is not, I'm not even trying to bring my situation to it because it has nothing to do with it. You bring that player, you don't even give him minutes. Scotty Barnes is getting more minutes than James Bouknight. But he was the fourth overall pick. Let's talk about Josh Giddey, Franz Wagner, or should we talk Alperen Sengun, which actually got traded to the Rockets? They're getting minutes. Alperen Sengun was drafted later, right? The Thunder drafted him and sent him to the Rockets. So I'm sorry. Let's look at LaMelo's draft class because LaMelo too also comes to the picture. Remember LaMelo Ball when you don't treat him right because 90% of the question is LaMelo this, LaMelo that. You've been trying to prove that the team is beyond LaMelo. Book Night came in and took LaMelo and wanted to be alongside LaMelo. He wanted to be his Pippin, and you took that from him. You took his joy from him. He wanted to help LaMelo's and the team succeed, and you took that joy from him. You didn't even let him be LaMelo's Pippin. When LaMelo and Book Night are on the court, the team wins. The team's win percentage increases. And that is if they play more minutes together. We don't even see that. I have not even seen these two start together. I've not seen these two start a game together, people. So, Sean, you can market your team and all that. It's okay. But when it's all-star period, you market those. That's what I like in Bulls fans, in Pelicans fans, Raptor fans, and Laker fans. When it's all-star season, You market your all stars. You do not market your whole team. Last year it was Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. The Bulls went with Zach Levine because he was the only All Star they have at that point. So now that they got two, what do? Promote them both. The Bulls still promote Lonzo, DeRozan, Zach. They promote their big four. Like this is how the Bulls marketing works. The whole team last. The big four gets the second most uh, promotion. But their big three gets a lot of promotion. But their all stars dominates the promotion. What does that mean? It means when you promote a star worthy talent on your team, you promote that. You have your pension collector as your superstar. What did he give to you? He laid another egg. He didn't score. And I'm gonna be on his ass. How you paid 120 million? You just out here to collect a pension. That's it. Because you're not winning for this team. Terry Rozier, $90 million man, doing nothing. James Borrego, the 5-year extension man, nada. Charlotte fan base, the gullible, delusional ones. Okay, we're losing. I've seen one, and my brother and James actually sent me one, but I don't want to read the tweet because it's so bad. These people are willing to kill themselves to defend this coach, and I'm not here to fight you. I'm here to come in as a friend and tell you this, Charlotte fans. You niggas gotta change your mindset. Because if you've always done what you've always done, you always have what you always have. Because the way you think is the reason why you're losing. The reason behind Charlotte losing has nothing to do with just Bim Borrego and all that. It starts with the fan base. Look at the fan base. Let's look at the fan base. Let me give a history of fan bases for a second. The Bulls fans. Bulls fans are one of the most lovable fan base I've ever had to deal with. And I'm not gonna cap. They may have their issues with the toxicity, and sometimes when you look at your shit as dumbass, but they're one of the most lovable fan base I've ever done. Knicks fans, they can be toxic, but they believe in their team. So is Atlanta Hawks fans, so is Nets fans, and so many other fan bases, even Bucks fans. Oh, Bucks fans, as much as I can yell at them for the Grayson Allen situation, they're still one of the most respectable fans that actually they take responsibility for so shit when shit goes wrong. What am I saying now? A fan base supports their team. You had two All Stars. Let's go back to the All Star video I made. You had two All Stars and you failed them. Oh, this will be fire for next year. That's the same dream every Charlotte fan will go. We'll come back stronger next season. Just so you're back on the gulag in the 10th seed. And then you say next season. And then you're back in the 10th seed. Then the same thing happened. And then you're back to fighting to survive the playoffs. Tony Parker came there to collect a pension. Kwame Brown came there to collect a pension. I can keep going on and on. And Kwame Brown is not a Charlotte Hornet draft pick. You still didn't make the playoffs. Nicholas Batum, you did the same mistake you did with Gordon Hayward now. You did it with Nicholas Batum. Gordon Hayward has been super inefficient this season. He's been worse this season than he was last season. It's not even close. But you want to still stick to this project-ass team that's not going to take you anywhere. LaMelo and Hayward would be free agents at the same time. So I'm saying this again, Charlotte. When it's time to make that decision of who to sign, you're going to have to let one of them go. You're going to have to decide then who's your franchise player. Are you going to keep the savant point guard that you have that's trying to resurrect your franchise? LaMelo's motivation is to win the city of Charlotte a championship. And y'all could not even build around him. Would I rather go with a player with the heart of a champion, or would I rather go with a player that's just trying to survive and get a paycheck to feed his kids? Which one would I go for? I don't understand. The All-Star season, you promote Cody Martin, Mason Bumley as All-Stars. Guys that did not even play any impact on the team. Guys that played no key role as All-Stars. All-Star is individual. Let me give you a history of All-Stars in certain teams. At least my favorite, my Lakers, right? The Lakers. Let's start with most All-Star appearances in Lakers history, in modern Lakers history. Because remember, I grew up in the modern Lakers history, the Lakers with the most All-Star appearances is Kobe Bryant. And he's still the youngest All-Star in NBA history. The player with the most championships, the role player with the most championships, Robert Horry. The coach with the most championships, Phil Jackson. You keep going on and on. You finally have a playoff team. You finally have something to be proud of, Charlotte. You finally have something to even be willing to say, yes, we finally have a team. And you want to sell that down and say, yeah, I'm going to rock with what the team says. I'm not being a sheep to no system like that. I may love a country or a school or anything, but I'm still going to criticize them. See, one thing that drew me to this team is potential. Potential. And y'all show that you're potentially losers. I don't see a potential in a team that wants to hold back rookies. The Raptors, my hometown Raptors, I've never held back a rookie regardless of what pick they have picked it. Yeah, you can go and play in the G League, but when you come to a team and become the rookie, you're still going to get enough adequate minutes. To start, you may not get good minutes to start with, but you're going to get minutes as you show us that you are worthy. Like, the moment if LaMelo was playing for the Raptors, the moment he shows the Raptors that he's ready after that 20 games, not only will LaMelo get minutes, he will be getting a lot of minutes. I'm serious. See, Nick Nurse is a Popovich student. When the Raptors played the Hornets, they were getting smacked. And we don't even have Scotty Barnes playing that time. No Scotty Barnes, no nothing. You still lost. You lost to the Cavs team with no Darius Garland, which already tells me that Darius Garland made the All-Star team legitimately. Yes, that because his team is good enough. His team is just that good. That's what Darius Garland proved to me, that even without him, his team can win without him. Because a team is as good as the Charlotte Hornets. Let me tell you the truth. This team would go as far as LaMelo takes you. Kelly Oubre might have hinted that to you, but you have to say to you the truth. Kelly Oubre came to the team because of LaMelo. Uh, LaMelo's the only reason why James Bouknight was happy to be drafted to your team. Not because of your weak-ass organization. LaMelo's your reason for James Bouknight to be happy to be drafted to Charlotte. It's not because he was happy to come there. He said, me and LaMelo will be box office. That's just the whole thing to tell you. LaMelo's his motivation. He wanted to be LaMelo's Pippen, and you cannot even give that to him. He wanted to win Rookie of the Year. You cannot even make him the joy. And you have this raccoon-ass fan base and media always being, yeah, let me slide and dance to the team. Y'all doing the cha-cha slide, and out here participating in the Frankie Stanza challenge every single time you lose a game. Shout out to Chisel Dons, by the way. You always participated in the Frankie Stanza challenge every single season, and then come back and say we'll be back next year, just to be participating in the Frankie Stanza challenge again and stop me short. Because I don't understand. I do not understand how terrible your fan is. Let me give you a real dose of reality. I've never see Pelicans fans. I've criticized them before, but you see, Pelicans fans like Get Like Hoop made me see that they respect their team for development. But you don't see them be like, our team is so good. I've talked to Pelicans fans like Sky, in Polite Source TV, and he's as hard. He's one of the hard nosed Pelicans fans, a diehard that criticizes the team despite how bad they are. The team is as your team. Let me tell you, Charlotte, your team is as good as Lamelo take you. And until Jordan, I'm talking to you. Mitch Kupchak, I'm talking to you. Your team is as good as Lamelo take you. You guys wanted to prove that the team is beyond Lamelo Ball. That's why you were trying to play that damage control shit and try to limit Lamelo. The moment I heard the Manu Ginobili, you see, for everyone who wonder why I was so worried when the Manu Ginobili comparison came in, let me tell you, the guy is not trying to make him emulate Manu Ginobili as a player in terms of how he played as a play style, but in terms of character. LaMelo's already trained to be a leader. Go and ask Jermaine Jackson what training he gave LaMelo. He molded LaMelo into a team leader. LeVar also played a role, but I will give that credit to Jermaine because he coached LaMelo and still coaches him from time to time. He coached LaMelo to be a leader. Oh, we're gonna build a good LaMelo on and off the court. Hence why you don't see that prima donna attitude that you think he has. Oh, because he was 16 and acted like a wild child. Who doesn't? I've been a wild child before. And now I'm growing up to understand how things work. People, like when you're 16, you act out. It happens. Shit happens. But of course, they want to nitpick what this kid can do and can't do. LaMelo is not even given the freedom to be a teenager. Even despite finally being a full-on adult, you still seeing fools say like, we don't want a prima donna. Now all of a sudden the headline will be James Bookline is a prima donna. Detroit wants Miles Bridges back home in Michigan. LA fans wants LaMelo back home. And I'm not just talking Laker fans. LA fans wants LaMelo back home. So I'm telling you, Charlotte, when you're on the clock, the Lakers will become calling. When it's time to decide between Gordon Hayward and LaMelo, if you decide to get rid of LaMelo, LaMelo's going to the Lakers. He's going back home. He's going back where it all started. I know people say, yeah, why would he go to a team that spotted? Nah, he's going back home. Lakers or Clippers, he's going back home. He's going back home to LA, where it all started. Because it's clear if this team don't you see, let me tell you, Charlotte, one thing, Charlotte fans. When you have a franchise player, the moment you have a franchise player, you're on the clock. You're on the clock. This team has a 20-25 record. The Raptors, 28-23. You guys are 5.5 games behind the first seed. I know there were games that are canceled, and you play that. You still play those games. That would happen. You still play those. But let me tell you the truth about what you fail to ignore, people. Your team ain't shit. You see, all these fans trying to cry and be bourgeoisie and all that. Let me tell you the dose of reality. You see, that bullshit coach that you're crying as a coach, let me tell you, there are multiple Latinos that are better than that nigga. That can coach better than that nigga. And I'm not one of them. But I may not know many in person, but I know that there's some Latino out there that know how to coach better than Borrego. That pendejo does not understand how to coach without being biased. It's okay to have a bias sometimes, but when you have a franchise player, that bias goes away. You can go and ask the Philadelphia 76ers coach in the time of Allen Iverson. You can go ask the Lakers during the time of Kobe Bryant and tell them how you deal with a savant. When you have a franchise player, you ignore your old system. You start to build your system around that player. It's funny how LaMelo won Rookie of the Year. Ernie and Chuck started to question LaMelo on what he wants Charlotte to do. That's to tell you the media sees LaMelo as the franchise player. Only franchise players gets to be asked questions like that. Not role players, not a piece to the team. Only franchise players gets asked questions like that. Like, what type of team do you want the team to construct around you? When Ernie and Chuck asked that question, it made me think. It's not that they hate LaMelo being an all-star. It's that they did not expect him to be an all-star in that season. Simple. And I have to call my wonderful family and I'm Groot and all these guys. Let me call you out for a second. Let me tell you something. Charlotte will never be shit until the mentality change. That's the main point I want you to drag on from this video. Charlotte will never be great or a playoff or a championship team until the mindset of the organization and the front office itself changes. The mindset of the fans must change first before that change. Because it will take the fans to force them to change. Ask Bulls fans. Because why the Bulls have a number one seed today is because of the mentality change. They didn't decide to sit down and wait, wallow around and wait for a magic star to shine upon their eyes. They took the chance. They said, "We need a team now. What do you got? Give us Lonzo. I don't care. We don't care whether he's injury prone or not. Give us Lonzo. We need a point guard. Give us a small forward. We need wing depth. We need a wing scorer, a foul drawer. Give us a reliable center. We got a reliable center that can space the floor. Give us Vucevic. Give us a rim protector. You drafted Patrick Williams, who, by the way, I hope PW is okay and I can actually, because PW is the only rim protector Chicago got that's reliable, apart from Vucevic, I guess. But my point is this. Bulls fans changed their mentality. That's why they have a first seed. But I know that first seed won't last, but at least it's going to be useful. Bulls fans changed their mindset. They went from team just expecting to just win to a team that wants to make the playoffs at least since the Derrick Rose era. They haven't made the playoffs since Derrick Rose left them and Jimmy Butler. They haven't made the playoffs since Jimmy Butler left. You have Zach LaVine, and Zach LaVine been here 5 years, and everyone look at him as a career loser, and now finally he has a team around him. This team took even. Do you know what's funny about the Bulls front office? They could have paid Zach LaVine, but if they paid Zach LaVine, they would never have gotten all of these key free agents because there will not be enough money to pass around. So they had to get these free agents that actually matters to their team. Lonzo, a good playmaker. LaMelo's older brother. Charlotte could have gotten Lonzo because Lonzo, and I'm gonna have to refer to DJ here, people, because DJ, you were right. You were right. Because what does DJ said about the Charlotte Hornets? Surround LaMelo Ball with 3 and D players. That's all. You don't have a 3 and D team. You're out here playing 1-3-1 zone, 2-3 zone. When you're playing against sharpshooting teams that you know they can shoot. You have Vanilla Ice, Tyler Hero, out here lighting you guys up. You have PJ Tucker looking like the next coming of a all-time great shooting center, like the next Chris Webber. You have Jimmy Butler looking like the next version of Allen Iverson. You had Bam Adebayo looking like the next coming of Hakeem, and you're telling me this is a team. I'm sorry, I'm not sold on that dream because that dream is not making a winning team. Okay, I'm sorry, Charlotte. You're not winning a championship with a mediocre franchise. You're not winning a championship with a mediocre expectation. You will never win a championship with a mediocre mindset. That's why New Orleans haven't won anything because the fan base is so okay with just a mediocre team. I've only seen one fan actually be critical of the team, and that was Scott. Everybody else haven't. I've not seen too much criticisms, but I understand why they don't criticize. But the reason why I respect Pelicans fans is because they promote their players when it's time to promote them. Charlotte, the biggest mistake Charlotte did to ruin LaMelo and Miles Bridges. You see, LaMelo aside, I'm even more pissed that Miles Bridges didn't make it because he had the better stats to back it up. You're telling me a guy who averages 20 point something points per game is not worth an all star? You don't have that guy as an all star? And you wonder why nobody really cares about this team. This team ain't shit without LaMelo and Miles Bridges. I've seen it when I watch this team. When LaMelo and Miles are not on the court together, the team looks lost. When LaMelo is not on the court, the team is even more lost. And I'm not trying to be a LaMelo stan or something, it's just the truth. The offense looks disjointed when LaMelo's not on the court. It's just the truth. They're disjointed. The offense looks bad when you play this bad system. But I'm gonna go on a sarcasm tangent. This amazing, phenomenal system just managed to be the master of blowjobs every single time. It's amazing. Like Chris would say, it's amazing, so amazing, it's amazing, so amazing for a reason. I know that I can preach it. Shout out to Chris Smooth, but I have to use a song on that one. But I'm sorry, please don't copyright me because I just had to use that as a reference. So, what am I trying to bring off as a tangent? Michael Jordan, you're the worst owner in NBA history. And it's not even close. I don't want to bring Reinsdorf to this. You're the worst owner in NBA history. It's not even close. Your team has a 44% record percentage. That's win and losses combined. 1,111 to 1,408 losses. That's your record. You don't have a winning team. You played for 32 years. And this is to Charlotte too and the fan base. You played for 32 years and you haven't won a championship. 32 years. I know people want to bring up Golden State, but let me tell you, Golden State made a lot of mistakes, but it had a team to watch in the 2008 We Believe Warriors era. Then they went from the We Believe Warriors to the Championship Warriors. They won with a bunch of underdogs in the 2014-15 season when they had freaking Curry, Clay, and Leandro Barbosa on the team. And you had Sean Livingston still battling injuries and still managed to win a championship. You win two with KD, and I don't want to be like, the Curry just needs stars to really win. Nope, that's not true. Let me be real. Without Curry, I don't even think the Red Warriors win any championship. Without Curry and Clay together on the court, I don't think the Warriors would be a championship team. That's a fact. Get it in the remix. The Lakers, without LeBron, we ain't shit. The Raptors, without Kawhi, wasn't shit. Look at them. They're going to be a playoff team that's gonna be knocked out in probably the second or Eastern Conference Finals. And this is just me trying to be realistic because the Raptors have built a phenomenal team. In the final season, they may not be in the playoffs, but they built a team that's that's scary and worth watching. The Raptors marketing is so much far better, and the development system is far better than the Charlotte system. Why? Charlotte Raptors knows how to promote their players when it's All Star period, All Star or not, All Star weekend or not. The Raptors are promoting Fred VanVleet like he's an All Star player. They do the same for DeMar DeRozan. They do the same for Kyle Lowry. When it's All Star season, Raptors promote their players like they're superstars. That's how we promote our players. We don't see our players as, oh, you're an all star today. Let's promote this guy as an all star, or freaking let's promote Noguera as this all star, or Caboclo, or let's promote Amir Johnson, who barely is that reliable, or Patrick Patterson as an all star. Not DeRozan, not Lowry. Let's promote them as all stars, and you think they'll make it as all stars? Kyle Lowry and DeRozan always make the all star team together. This is the first time DeRozan has made an All-Star team without Lowry being his teammate. This is the first season he has made an All-Star team without Lowry as his teammate. Even if Lowry is not being, I mean, together as an All-Star, yeah, but as teammates, this is the first time Lowry not being his teammate, DeMar DeRozan is an All-Star. This is the first time in DeMar's career. The reason why I have to bring this history up is because a lot of people need to understand. Ain't nobody caring about your team. Look at the Bulls during the Michael Jordan era. Michael Jordan was the best thing that ever happened to Chicago. And Michael Jordan is the only one with the most All Star appearances in that Bulls team, at least in my book. As a player, he was amazing. But as a GM, this is the same GM slash owner that drafted Adam Morrison. It's a travesty. And it's all because he wants to see the next Larry Bird. So you sign Gordon Hayward because you're infatuated with Larry Bird. You still haven't found your next Larry Bird. The closest thing to him in Miles Bridges, at least, will be benched for catching a lob. It's a damn shame. A travesty. A pain. It's pathetic. But yet, I don't know what to say to this fan base. I don't. Like, you expect me to be angry, mad, in pain? Potential is what draws me to good teams. Teams that I think have a future. But Charlotte has shown me they don't have a future because they don't want to have a future. I'm sorry, you've been 32 years and you still haven't made any significant changes. I know many teams who wait for 40 something years, like Milwaukee, like Golden State. It's okay, I understand. But you see, within those 40 years or 50 years, like Milwaukee did winning the championship with Giannis, within those years, there were changes made from time to time to see which who is the championship team. They didn't just sit down and stuck with the same old good old boy team and say that's gonna win them a championship. You finally have something to look forward to, Charlotte. And you're letting this organization and its media ruin it for you. And you're telling me we're just stands, we don't care about we're just not reasonable people. You're the unreasonable one here. But I'm not gonna call you idiots. I'm not gonna call you that. Because I'm gonna come in, I'm just relaying this message as a friend. I want you to see this as a friend, as a person who just cares about your team. Because I must be the only one in new media that actually have a real care for this team. I must be the only one. I really do care that this team is losing bad. I really do. I really don't like this bullshit that you're seeing. See, teams are not used to losing. When Lonzo came to Charlotte to Chicago, the Chicago Bulls fans embraced Lonzo fans. And what do Lonzo fans do in reward? Lonzo may not be in the game. We still gonna watch the Bulls. I watched the Bulls recently. They're more fun to watch with or without Lonzo on the team. The Bulls are entertaining. They're not shit. They lose or win, they're entertaining to watch. You will never be bored watching a Bulls game unless they make a boring play or make the game boring. You will never be bored watching a Bulls game. So I'm sorry, Charlotte. Here's what I have to say. Until the mentality changes, until things change, until you see the light that this is not a hate video. This is not, I wanted to cook you and actually put you in the frying pan and kill you to death. But this is still a cook session. But I'm just coming in from the perspective of a friend. Because I've learned that to really convince certain people, sometimes you just have to come in as their best friends, as a brother, as a family member who actually just cares. And I'm going to say it the most calmest way possible because I'm going to lose my mind being so angry at this team. But I really do care. I want to see this team succeed. It's been so long. In 40 years, the Warriors won the French Championship. In the next 3 years, they won the next. Then the year after that, the next. Making the championship 6 titles. Because their first championship was won on the back of a black man being their coach. But they will never tell you that in the story. But the NBA dropped the snippets. Their first ever title was won on the back of a black coach. No homo. The Warriors have 6 titles, tying the Bulls. They have 6 titles. Not 3, 6. 6 titles. And the Charlotte Hornets have 0. You haven't won a division title. You haven't made it past the first round since 2022. You haven't win an NBA title. You have not even made the playoffs in about 5 to 6 years, since 2016, with the Nicholas Batums of the world. So tell me this. If you're willing to pay a pension plan for your Gordon Hayward, aka Mr. Glass, and you're allowing Mr. 0.9 to ruin the game, Charlotte Hornets, I'm not even going to have more to say to you. Because if you've always done what you've always done, you always have what you always have. And because of that, I don't even know what to say to you because it's clear losing is not an option. And that's my message for y'all.